Hello, my brothers and sisters. It is dinner time. Come on in, come on in. The table is set. Come on in for some of this good dinner this evening. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Martin? I see you at the dinner table. I see your Joy Hancock down there. How you doing? Come on in, brothers and sisters. We have some good, deep soul food this evening, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy it. I hope that you have enough room for it, because I got a feast for you this evening. It's going to touch you, my brothers and sisters. So I need for you to come on in and be ready to consume this good soul food this evening. Invite some of your friends if you want to invite your friend, because we got plenty of room, my brothers and sisters. So come on in. How you doing, mother? My mom is at the dinner table. She just sat down. I see her John Hancock down there. So come on in. We're going to give a few more people opportunity to come in and get ready for this feast this evening. It's going to be very nutritional for your mind, your emotions, your whole soul, and it's coming directly from a spiritual perspective. So get ready, my brother, get ready, my sister. We are about to dive into this good dinner this evening. If you want to discuss anything while we're talking at the dinner table, by all means, my brother and sister, I want you to go ahead and express your thoughts while we're at the dinner table talking. So, but be very, very respectful, my brothers and sisters, to everyone that is at the dinner table, okay? With that said, allow me to introduce myself. If this is your first time viewing this broadcast, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship primarily from a biblical point of view. When I say biblical, I believe strongly, my brother and sister, that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam first. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, he represented the woman Eve to Adam. Fourth, the man Adam said in the presence of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her woman, because she came from man. Now, if anyone is sitting at this dinner table and they see another thing about relationships, you can sit at the dinner table, but I'm letting you know now, brother and sister, what I'm about to talk to you about is basically from a biblical point of view when God created the man and the woman. So if you have any other thoughts about that, you have a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But I encourage you to stay here so you can get some of the good soul food. Maybe you will enjoy what I'm about to say. With that said, tonight's topic, my brothers and sisters, is when God gives a man a good woman, she flies first class. That's what I said. When God, the Lord Jesus, Father, through Jesus, when God gives a man a good, check that out, a good woman, she flies first class. Now, what are you talking about, Tony? What are you talking about when God gives a man a good woman? Obviously, when God gives a man a good woman, God handpicked that woman for the man. So therefore, the woman is good. Is she perfect? No, she's not perfect. Like his son is not perfect. See, God does not orchestrate our marriages or relationship. As I have said on several of my broadcasts, God does not put our relationships together. Only God put a godly man and a godly woman together. God does that. God does all of it. Now, any other relationship that got together besides God, God was not in it. God only brings a good woman to his son. That's how a man finds a woman. God does the bringing. However that man meets the woman, God brought the woman to the man. Now, let us go to a passage, and I want you all to remember this, what I'm about to say, because it's going to be very beneficial when I come to the end of this topic. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 15:53. 1 Corinthians 15:53. Remember I say when God gives a woman, when God gives a man a good woman, she flies first class. Now, listen to this very carefully, and it may not make no sense to you right now, but you're going to see it as we go on later on. In 1 Corinthians 15:53, again at 1 Corinthians 15:53, 1 Corinthians 15:53, Paul is doing the talking. Paul said, I declare to you, brothers and sisters, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor does perishable inherit the imperishable. Now listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep. That means we all will not die during the rapture. Okay, that's what it's talking about. But we will all be changed in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trump will sound, and the dead will rise imperishable, and we will be changed. For the perishable must clothe itself with the imperishable, and the mortality with the immortality. How you doing, Sister Brenda? Now, some of you saying, Tony, why are you talking about the rapture? Just stay tuned. I'm about to give it to you, okay? Just stay tuned, because we're going to have a bearing on the topic of when God gives a man a good woman, she flies first class. Now, if a man had to fly with a woman, my brother and sister, first class, where would he like for both of them to go? Think about that question. If a man flies with a woman, his woman, the woman that he is serious about, the woman that he's committed to, the woman that he has a covenant relationship to, if they fly first class, where would he like for both of them to go? If a man, my brother and sister, if a man really, really, really cares about and for his woman, there's one spot that he's looked forward to flying with his woman first class. Now, we're going to go to God's word again. When we go to Matthew 22, 25, 28. Again, Matthew 22, 25, 28. Jesus is doing the talking. Okay? Jesus is doing the talking. Listen to me carefully. Jesus said, now there were 7 brothers among us. The first one married and died. That means that this one man, he had some brothers. It was 7 brothers. And we're talking, now listen, we're going back into time. And that's how they used to do it during that time. There were 7 brothers. Let me give you the background. There were 7 brothers. So if a brother died and he left a wife, his other brother was supposed to take up his responsibility and bear seed in his brother's name, okay? So that's the setting what Jesus is talking about. The first one married and died, and since he had no children, he left his wife to his brother. The same thing happened to the second, the third, right down to the 7th brother. Finally, the woman died. Now, then at the resurrection, whose wife will she be of the 7, since all of them was married to her? That's the question that Jesus left. Now, these 7 brothers, they was married to one wife, but all of them died. It was no hanky-panky, my brother and sister. But when the last one died, the question was, who wife would she be in the resurrection? And some of you still saying, Tony, what that got to do with flying first class? Be patient, my brother and sister. We're at the dinner table, so we're going to enjoy this meal tonight. Now, let's go to what first class means. What does first class mean? First class, my brother and sister, it's also known as a suite. It's the traveling class of some passenger airliners, intended to be more luxurious than the business class, the premier economy, and economy class. It also, what is the first class also known for? It is also about privacy, flexibility, and luxury. These days, my brother and sister, if you look at it from getting on an airplane, these days it also includes, guess what? When you fly first class, it also includes full flat beds, either at large seat or private enclosed suite. Also, first class is known as excellent food and drink. Now, what can you expect when you fly first class? This is what you can expect when you fly first class, my brother. Calls, travel by first class, whether on a plane, train, boat, or other means of transportation, is on the average more expensive. It's more expensive, but it's better when you go first class. Check it out. It's more expensive, but it is better than the business class or the econo class, okay? Now consider this, my brother and sister, when you fly first class. First class accommodation are generally more covenant than the rest of a class or wherever you're on the plane. Now, placement on an airplane, first class is usually in the front of the plane. And there are many benefits, my brother and sister, if you fly first class, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to ask you brother and sister, something. If, for those of you that have been on a train that had a first class compartment, you was on an airplane or whatever. If you notice there are a few people that go into first class. Yeah, if you notice that, it's a few people that go to first class. And then there are some that get on the regular part of the plane. Now, take that in your mind, my brother and sister. What's behind that curtain in first class? What's behind that curtain? When a man is serious, when a man is committed, and when a man is in a covenant relationship with a woman, he takes that woman into his life and she experienced first class treatment. Other women, even women that he have dated probably in the past or whatever, he knew when he found a particular one, he knew he was going to give her first class treatment. Why was he going to give her first class treatment? Because he recognized this particular woman, God brought the woman to the man. So when God brought the woman to the man, how you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? When God brought the woman to the man, he said in his mind, I'm going to treat her to a first class trip in my relationship. Now, the woman that a man decide to fly first class with, if he's from God, this is the clincher. And sister, let me tell you this. If God bring you to the right man, not a perfect man. How you doing, Sister Deborah Scott? Sister, if God bring you to the right man, listen up. That man is his son. God have more son than Jesus. Jesus is his beloved son, okay? But everybody else, every man or woman that got saved, they was adopted to God's family. So when I say a son of God, I'm talking about somebody that followed God through his son, Jesus Christ. So when God brings the right woman to the right man, neither one of them is perfect. Just by the mere fact that God is in that man's life, that woman, she's going to have a life full of first class treatments. Like on an airplane, if you are on first class of coaches, you're on the same plane, you're going to experience what is called turbulence. But it's better to experience turbulence on the first class because you still got everything together on the first class. Now, what does turbulence mean when you're flying? It just, those of you that have been on an airplane, you know what turbulence is, like a little shake up. That represents a relationship, a little minor problems here and there. But you're still going to get to your destination, okay? Now, the question is this, my brother and sister, is worth flying first class by Justin Hayward. This is what Justin Hayward stated. He said, first class is the most luxurious way to fly. With access to the best airport facility, the most spacious and private seating on board, and fine dining. It is, of course, a fantastic way to travel. But with a shockingly high price, the norm, it can seem out of reach for most travelers. When a woman is in a man's life, she is going to experience some luxurious, well, I'm trying to pronounce it right, a luxurious way of being treated that she have never experienced with a man before. Because most other men probably that she was accustomed to are worldly men. Worldly men could have bought her stuff what she need. They could have treated her very nice. They could have had nice things of this world. But the difference between a worldly man and a spiritual man, a worldly man cannot go deep like a spiritual man. The big difference of a spiritual man is more of a leader. Now, some will say a worldly man lead. No, they're not going to lead. They'll lead according to the world way of things. But a spiritual man, he is more in depth with the woman. Therefore, when a woman go on a first class trip with a man, when I say first class trip, I'm talking about in life. That's what I'm talking about. She would experience more of a pleasurable ride with a man in this life than she will with a man of the world. If a man had to fly with a woman first class, where would he like for both of them to go? This is the question again. If a man had to fly first class with a woman, where would both of them go? Now, the question, my brother, the question, my sister, is why would God give a man a good woman? Now, we go all the way back to God. Why would God? Because God, the one who gives good women to men. It's only a few. It's only a few good women for a good man. Good women, brothers, are hid on the outside, but the world don't actually see them. God hide good women in plain view. Did you know that, brother? God hide good women in plain view. Worldly men see good women, but they don't know that she's a good woman. They looking at her for their own benefit. Worldly men looking at, and worldly men are not going to fly you first class. Now, on an airplane, on a literal airplane, they make them fly a woman first class. But on a spiritual journey, a worldly man can't do it. He can't touch the spiritual man. Now, a spiritual man, he could take a woman on first class spiritually, and it's possible that he could do it on the airplane itself. So when a worldly man and a spiritual man have a good woman, now some worldly men, they end up with a good woman. You know how some worldly men end up with a good woman? Because she made a bad decision. That's the only way a worldly man end up with a godly woman. She miscalculated. She seen some warning, but she ignored the warning because more than likely she thought that she could change the man. And that's what some of you sisters come in at. That's why, sister, when worldly men come to you to take you on a first class ride, you have to listen to these guys. You can't change these guys. He might could give you the world goods, but he can't give you what you need. Worldly men may could give you what you want, but they cannot give you what you need. What's the difference between a need and a want? A need is what is necessary. A want is optional. He might be nice and all that kind of stuff. He may have position. He may have money, clout, and all that well-to-do stuff in the world, but he cannot address your deepest needs. He can address your deepest wants, but your want, sister, it's like you get a new car. When you get a new car, sister, you like that new car smell, don't you? But guess what? Eventually that new car smell is going to fade away. You might like the car initially and stuff like that, but that kind of stuff, it's just like when you give a child a Christmas toy sometimes. You notice a lot of times children, when Christmas Day comes, they like to run to the toy and they be so excited and stuff. But what happened after that? They lose interest in it. That's how it is, sister, when you go on a first class trip with a worldly man. You're going to lose interest because in your heart, you know that something is missing. You might can't put your finger on it, but something is missing. Now, back to my earlier statement. A man knows, sister, listen to this. Men know, and I have said this several times, men, we know whether or not you are wife material. Now, when we talk about wife material, we're narrowing it down to whether a woman is wife material from God or the adversary, which is Satan. Do you remember this, my brothers and sisters, in the early passage that I read to some of you brothers and sisters? We're going to go back, we're going to go to Matthew 22:25. Again, Matthew 22:25. Now there were 7 brothers. The first one married and died, and since he had no children, he left to his wife. The same happened to the second, the third brother, right down to the 7th. Finally, the woman died. Then Jesus said, now tell me, in the resurrection, whose wife would she be, because the 7 had her? Now, Jesus go on to be more detailed with, and we go to Matthew 22:29 through 22. Matthew chapter 22, 29 through 32. Again, that Matthew 22, 29, 22. Jesus said that, Jesus replied, you are in error because you do not know the scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, listen, my brother and sister, this is about, we about to get to the nitty gritty of first class, okay? Jesus said, at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. Listen to me again. At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. But about the resurrection of the dead, have you not read? Jesus talking. God said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is not the God of the living, of the dead, but the living. So in the resurrection, my brothers and sisters, in the resurrection, brother, if you die and your wife die, or you die, brother, and your wife alive, or your wife die and you alive, in the resurrection, your body is going to change. In the resurrection, for those of you that are married, right now, when Jesus comes, you're not going to be married no more according to how this world view marriage. I know, but you don't get depressed and stuff, my brother and sister. So some people think, if my husband and wife, well, if my husband and me, or my wife and me, if we both saved, when Jesus comes, we going to be married when we raise up. This is what Jesus said. Jesus said, at the resurrection, we'll neither marry nor be given in marriage. We will be like the angels of heaven. So what is Jesus saying? What we view as marriage here on earth, my brother and sister, it's going to be a whole complete different type of relationship. As a matter of fact, brothers and sisters, if you're married right now, or you plan on getting married, and then Jesus comes, the type of relationship you're going to have, it's going to be more wonderful and more deeper than it is here on earth. You, brother, and you, sister, when you're married here on earth, your purpose on being on earth is you are supposed to be a reflection of Christ's relationship with the church. That's your purpose for being married here. So the first class part, remember we was talking about flying first class. When the resurrection come, my brothers, when the resurrection come, my sisters, it said, if a man really, really, really care about a woman, what is the spot that he's looking to be with her? Now, the best spot, my brothers, and the best spot, my sister, for a first class trip is in Revelation 19 and 7-8. Revelation 19, 7-8. Revelation 19, 7-8. It said, let us rejoice and give him glory, for the marriage of the Lamb, which is Jesus, has come, and his bride has made herself ready. So what am I saying? The best first class for a man to fly with his wife is to meet Jesus in the air. Now you got it. That's the best first class trip a man and a woman can experience. How you doing, Brother Larry? I tell you this, my sister, listen up. If you're dating a man right now, this is a test. If you're dating a man right now, even if you're married to a man, ask him. First of all, start asking him some simple questions like, what do you think about flying first class? Ask him what he think about flying first class. And not only that, let me tell you this, sister. If a man walk up to you, those of you that are single, remember, a godly man, he understands what first class means. A worldly man, he going to tell you about airplanes, trains, and stuff. A spiritual man, he knows what first class means. Mm-hmm. Now, sister, when a man come to you, those of you that have discernment, when a man walk up to you, remember I said this. I said a man look at you, sister, as you are married material or you're not. So, sister, you're gonna have to speak up for yourself when a man come to you, and you got to understand, where are you taking me with this? How you doing, Sister Deborah? You got to say, where do you want to go with me? And listen to him. You got 2 ears, sister, and 1 mouth. So that means you listen twice as much as you talk. You got to look that man in the face and say, where are you trying to take me? And then some of you sisters, you need to start asking these type of questions. If you're single, you need to start asking these type of questions. Do you or do you not see me as a wife? You got to ask that earlier on in a relationship. Do you understand, sister? You have to ask that man that say he like you, do you or do you not see me as a wife? And listen to what he say. If he give you a vague answer, how you doing, Sister Twilight? If he give you a vague answer, that's your exit. Don't spend no more time with this guy. That's not the man that God wants you to be with. Your discernment, not your intuition, sister. Your discernment should say, you should, since you, sister, go by your emotions and everything, you should have a funny feeling that what he just said, it doesn't make no sense. You know why it doesn't make no sense? Because I always tell you this math equation, sister. 1 + 1 = 2. It never equals 3. If a man try to sell you that 1 + 1 = 3, you know that's the wrong type of math. That's the wrong math. 1 + 1 always = 2. It never equals 3. So if you feel uncomfortable, that's your spirit, not your intuition. If you're in Christ, your spirit, your discernment is saying, run, Forrest. Your name might not be Forrest, but you know what I'm talking about. It said, run. Go in the, no matter how he look. He could look handsome. He could have a 6-pack. He could have 6 figures. He could be 6 feet tall. He could have all these worldly things, but that's the wrong man for you. The only thing this man could do for you is give you heartache. He could give you that new car smell, but he can't give you what you need. He can give you what you want. Only a spiritual man can give you what you need through Jesus Christ. A worldly man can give you what the devil can offer you. Don't you know, my brothers, and don't you know, my sister, that the devil, he is controlling this world system? That's why he tried to tempt Jesus when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days. He tried to tempt Jesus, but Jesus didn't go for it. Adam and Eve gave Satan the keys to the world when they rebelled against God. So right now, Satan had the keys to the world system. So don't you know, sister, that Satan can give his son stuff to dangle in your face. And a lot of you, sister, you buy it. You buy it hook, line, and sinker. That's what you do. Some of you. So if God bring this right man to you, sister, you got your discernment. Now, again, the question that you need to ask these guys, do you see me as a wife? Don't assume. And if that man say, yes, I see you as a wife, your next question should be, okay, if you see me as a wife, when are you planning on marrying me? And see what he say. If he pause and act like he can't talk, that gives you another red flag because he's being deceptive. A man knows how to answer you effectively, sister. If you really the one that he needs in his life, he's going to be point on with you. You the one that he want to take first class. A man that with the right woman, he's going to take her first class. Sister, if you hang with a man and he might make you feel good, you may have flutters and stuff, you might actually get on a plane and go first class, but that's not the ultimate first class flight. The ultimate first class flight is you and him sitting at the marriage table with Jesus. Most worldly men will not talk to you about Jesus. You understand that? They don't know. They know about Jesus. They don't even know about that marriage that's going to take place during the resurrection. They don't know. So, sister, why would you get angry at them? They don't know, because it's Satan's sons. They don't know. Only spiritual men, they look beyond the here and the now. When you with a genuine spiritual man, sister, he not looking at you just for today. He is looking at you for the future. He wants a first-class relationship with you in the future. And that first-class flight that he envisioned in his mind, you and him meeting the Lord up in the air, that's the best first-class trip you can go on, sisters. When this man and you are first class and y'all in the air with the Lord. That's the ultimate flight. If this man can't get you the ultimate flight on first class, he's not for you. Now, a man that is, before he get first class with you, if he's a godly man, this man, you're going to see that this man going to treat you with first class treatment. And what do I mean by he going to treat you with first class treatment? First class treatment, if you go to an airport, check this out. Prior to first class check-in and board, you move. If you go to the airport, when they go to first class, it's priority. You will have priority in that man's life. When you're checking into the relationship and you're boarding his heart. Then it say access to airline. Many airlines have dedicated first class lounges as their hub or significant location. So this man, sister, you're gonna meet him at a first class lounge. I'm talking spiritual now, right? He's gonna treat you top notch. This particular man, you have never been treated this way before. You're gonna think you're in a dream. Because no other man never treated you this way before. There may be some men that have treated you good, but a godly man you never experienced before. When you with a godly man, you're going to reach in your mind and say, well, why was I dealing with those other men? Because that's all you knew. You didn't know what God's son was going to do for you. You know why you didn't know what God's son was going to do for you? Because you never met God's son until that time. You probably seen some of God's song until one of God's song actually meet you. And you know how you get the first class? God brings you to the man. He's going to bring you to the man literal by meeting you physically. He might see you somewhere. You never know. But God orchestrate the meeting at the hub. So God is preparing you, sister, to fly first class with this man. When you're in a relationship with God, my brothers, when you're in a relationship with God, my sister, you have a first class relationship. When you have a first class relationship, my brother and sister, there are going to be some worldly men and worldly women that are going to observe your first class relationship because you have a first class relationship. You have a priority relationship. You're going to have a relationship that some people from the world are going to envy. You're going to have a relationship where some people won't looking for you to break up. So they could say, I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't true. It was too good to be true. Don't you know, my brother and sister, people that don't fly, a lot of people that don't fly first class, they envy people that fly first class. Did you not know that? Some people do. Some people actually do it. So, in a spiritual sense, my brother and sister, world men and women, when they look at your relationship, brother, when you treat a woman with first class and her friends see that she being treated with first class, some of her friends may get envious of her based on you're treating her with first class. Just think about it, bro. When you treat a woman with first class, some of her friends may get envious of her because they're going to look at the men that they're talking to or in a relationship with. They're going to notice that you, sister, your heart smile a lot. And when your heart smile a lot, it reflects on your face. They're going to see, sister, that you have peace. You don't complain that much, and you are content. You don't have to hang out in the street when you're in a first-class relationship. First-class women don't hang out in the street. Most of the women that hang out in the street, they ain't got that first-class vibe. They ride coach. When I say coach, they ride the coach of life. They settle for peanuts and a bag of potato chip and a soda I'm using this as an airplane situation from a worldly standpoint. They're not using it from a spiritual. When these worldly women, they are on the coach part, so what they doing, they eating peanuts and crackers and a soda. But from a spiritual standpoint, women that fight first class, they're gonna eat the best food at the front part. Worldly women, they want to see what behind that curtain. They heard about first class, but they don't know what's in first class. But they heard about it. And they want to be there in first class. And let me tell you this, brother. Let me tell you this. Listen up. Brother, when you decide that, look, some of those women that you're talking to, brother, you know that they can't go first class with you. And some of those women that you have talked to, and you were straight up with them, and you didn't mislead them now. You didn't mislead them. They're going to get perturbed when you get with the right woman and you take her first class. They might even hate you because you decide to be with a woman first class. And then let me tell you this, bro. There are some women that you said, I want to take her first class. But they didn't want to ride first class. There's just some women that don't want to ride first class with you, brothers. And thank God they don't want to ride first class with you, because God had this other person in mind for you. God had the right woman in mind for you, brothers. God don't want everyone. If you're a son of God, God do not want you to fly first class with a woman that built for a coach life. He doesn't want that. God wants you with a first class woman. Sister, God wants you with a first class man. When I say first class, I'm talking about a spiritual man for a spiritual woman for a spiritual man. When God gives a man a good woman, she flies first class. God does not make no mistakes. Like I said, in your relationship, my brother, you and sister, you may experience some turbulence, but you're in a first class, because guess who is the captain of the ship, or the captain of the plane, or the engineer on the train? It's Jesus Christ himself. So if Jesus is leading and you're in first class, you got it made, my brother. You got it made, my sister. And I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's dinner. My name is Tony M. Toomer. Some of you don't know this, but you're going to know it now. I got a page on YouTube. I need for you all to go over there and subscribe. It's Tony M. Toomer. Why am I asking you that? Because if I get 1,000 subscribers, you don't have to pay for it now, but if I have 1,000 subscribers, I can start doing live on YouTube. So I'll be doing live here and on YouTube. So I need your help. I'm almost there. So I need your help, my brother and sister, because we want other people to be able to have dinner with us, okay? I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Remember, go to YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. How do you do it? You put Tony M. Toomer in the search bar. You turn on one of my videos and just hit the subscribe button, and you in. You don't have to pay nothing. It just take a few seconds. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.